You let the Fox station land on Fairfield? I bet the Westport folks are feeling pretty good about their decision to stay put.
Latest contraband came in. Looked like quite the haul. Any standouts?
Blades, think I missed browse all you like. Feel free. Tired of firearms that explode in your face? Come to not a weapons store.
Protect your loved ones, protect yourself. Only tell me what you need. Can Get caught unawares all you like. My armor will keep you safe.
Hello? Not selling anything, I assure you.
Commander, a moment of your time, if you would? Commander, I'm glad I managed to intercept you before we left. There's something of utmost importance I wish to discuss. Relax, Commander. You are not under my authority to judge. Though if you were, that phrase alone would have certainly seen you hauled off to mental refreshment. I received a message from a close friend of mine, Virgil. He was my co-protege under the Supreme Arbiter. His message claimed he had information relevant to the Supreme Arbiter's death. He wishes to meet with me at the Vox Relay on Paradise Island. I did not mention it before, but believe it may be necessary to avoid shocking you later. Our greatest suspect in the death of the Supreme Arbiter is the Protectorate's consul. Very good. I hope we shall see him at your earliest convenience. I feel this shall most certainly set our investigation into motion. Let us make our way to Paradise Island at once.
Right there, Arbiter Rao. Though I am here on official business, I would prefer to keep this cordial. The Consul seeks answers related to your recent activities. I approach you openly, in the hopes that you will comply with his request, and come with me peaceably.
What do you blather about? Delay me and you will pay the price. Not only do I have more pressing business with a colleague, but I do not answer to Sentinels or the Consul.
You're here to meet me. The message you received was of my construction, not your compatriots. Virgil is not coming. Surrender.
Virgil's not coming, you say? Curious. And here I was thinking I was already present.
Virgil! Touting your flair for the dramatic, even now, I see. But I fear our reunion must wait until we've dealt with this pawn of the Consul.
I had not expected a third party, but it is so much the better. I'm afraid you must come with me as well, Arbiter Montag.
A sentinel demanding anything of me? What madness! Neither Tristan nor I shall accompany you anywhere. Any attempts to force us shall be met with violent reprisal. I should think not. I would more readily seek lodging with a neural parasite than a sentinel. This fool impersonated my credentials, triggering a system alert that led me here. A lowly deception, even for one of the Consul's own.
It was a necessary deception, and one not undertaken lightly. Its aim was to draw your colleague here without bloodshed, for I know he would not have arrived at my request.
Your explanation does not pull my heartstrings, Sentinel. Yet you at least had the sense not to assail us outright. Surrender, and perhaps you may yet live.
You may not believe me, but I have much admiration for the work you and Arbiter Montag have done for the Protectorate. I've no wish to fight. Enough loyal subjects have died in this war. Come willingly and peaceably, I beseech you.
It's possible this is a ploy, and the Consul is on to Virgil and I. But if that is so, why lure me here, then meet me openly when Perrault could have ambushed me from behind?
Are you mad? Because he seeks to lower your guard, then strike. Surely you don't intend to converse with him about it?
I trust Sentinels no more than you, but I am using this situation to gather information, which I would expect you would also do if you weren't so focused on haranguing me.
I appreciate the support. Though we are not related by blood, I suppose we are just as wont to bicker with one another as true brothers.
Conversation is not likely to distract me from my purpose. I am here to kill no one, but unless there has been some kind of mistake, you must still submit to me.
Very well. But be warned, I'm not exactly trained in the art of improvisation. We'll need a very good reason for my not answering the Consul's summons. Commander, one can't just be recruited as an Arbiter. You're designated from birth as one, and raised accordingly.
Ah, I see. That was an attempted scheme of some sort. I'm afraid I cannot allow your attempted subterfuge. We must do battle.
So much for your plan. Violence it is. Sentinel, I accuse you of impersonating a senior arbiter and threatening to unlawfully incarcerate another. I find you guilty on all counts. Prepare for absolution.
I had dearly hoped your refusal to meet the Consul was not rooted in traitorism. But it seems I was wrong. If you expect I should roll over and die, you'll be sorely mistaken.
Fastest way forward is through!
that. Let us search the body. Perhaps we might find more information. On why he was sent here.
Resolving this situation directly was the proper move. I shudder to imagine what that sentinel may have wrought unchecked. Did you find anything upon his body?
We did. It seems he was looking into the Supreme Arbiter's death. He sought to follow a lead on one Oculus collating post after confronting us here.
What? That can't be. Why would the Consul look into his own crime? He must be seeking a patsy. Or this is a convoluted attempt to lure us into a trap.
The Consul expected us to kill his agent, loot the body, and thus prepared a trap for us elsewhere? Convoluted is certainly the operative word. We must investigate. Let us do just that. I regret we've not had more time to talk, Virgil. It has been ages.
Worry not. I'm certain we'll have plenty of time to converse when you've finished your investigation. I have several leads of my own to pursue, as a matter of fact. Until our paths cross again, my friend.
I recall this place. These stations have been automated since my day, though this one has certainly accrued dust. Odd that it... would be in a state of lockdown. I have a general override that should allow us entry, but anything specific to local systems, including security systems, may be beyond me. These security measures should not be operational. And the station seems to be on reserve power. We'd best tread carefully. I recall this place. These stations have been automated since my day, though this one has certainly accrued dust. Odd that it would be in a state of lockdown. I have a general override that should allow us entry, but anything specific to local systems, including security systems, may be beyond me. These security measures should not be operational, and the station seems to be on reserve power. We best tread carefully. Is here, lying in ambush. Perhaps some stray systemic error activated the entryway defenses. We'd best first report to security ops, lift this lockdown. From there, we can set about reactivating the station's primary power, which will allow us to explore unhindered. Is that a footprint in the dust? This station shouldn't have received visitors in years. Be on guard. Someone else may be here. My passcode shall not work on this terminal. Unlocking it may be a... create...
Sequencing attack strategy.
Good effort lifting the lockdown. We may now reactivate the station in the reactor. Reactor activation circuits shall likely be dysfunctional. It's a known issue with these old stations. Let me look. Corroded transistors, dust in the actuator. Did a sprat gnaw on this? Sweet sovereign, what a mess. There. I think I have it. Let us hope my override does not trigger any security alerts. Good. This should avail us of a much simpler search. Let us return to the central room once more and see if anything seems out of place.
Engaging combat protocols.
anything that may be a clue as to the hidden room's location. I cannot say I have had to search for a hidden switch in a protectorate holding before. Keep watch. It could be rather small and well hidden. Ah, I think I've spotted it. Look there at the valve beside the sickly yellow pipe. There behind the room's main pillar. There. I'm certain of movement below. Gird yourself with...
Passcode is limber. No. Let's try amulet. No. Wingtip. No. Sovereign's gavel. I should remember this. Damn it. Oh! Wait. Oh, no.
Stay whatever fool words you ready in your defense, for they shall avail you not. I accuse you of trespassing upon the private domain of the Sovereign. For these crimes... Wait. I know you. Luther Okada? What in blazes are you doing here? And why do you wear a Sub Rosa uniform?
Because I work for Sub Rosa? More than that, I don't think I can say, Cadet Rao. Mostly because I'm not supposed to, but also because I can't remember.
I knew this man when I was still a cadet. Okada is, or was, a petty troublemaker, though a crafty one. As cadets, Virgil and I apprehended him often. Sometimes Virgil let him go, but he usually went to mental refreshment.
Often enough to know the technicians by name. Until I forgot them again.
This truly is no ploy. But mental refreshment is supposed to return wayward subjects to the proper path, not cause whatever this is. Despite his faults, the Okada I knew was ultimately benign. But the fact remains that he now trespasses in a secure facility. Duty dictates that I must execute him. That's a wise path. One that shall give me time to contemplate what must be done.
An arbiter used the word execute in the last few seconds, yet I remain alive? Didn't think that was possible. He and the other one must have put me away close to 12 times each. I used to be something of a ne'er-do-well.
Ne'er-do-well is a polite term. He was a repeat malefactor. I believe last time we met, he'd vandalized a janitorial automech in an attempt to make it spew profanity.
I got 18 months of hard labor for that. Served me right.
As much as I'd prefer not to admit it, you may be right. Whoever hired him must not have known about his addled mind. They were moving quickly, desperately.
I didn't used to be like this. I can still sneak with the best of them. Not being able to remember doesn't make me any worse as an agent. It doesn't.
Any of my fellow arbiters would have killed you before this conversation began. But I can't decide whether to disdain or pity you.
I was sent here to do a specific job, but some of the details are hazy. Gives me conniptions. I don't have a choice. Do you think I like having these holes in my memory? There's nothing I can do to answer you.
Yes, you're correct. And I shall not waver. Luther Okada, you stand accused of trespassing upon the private domain of the Sovereign, of espionage, of informational theft. For these crimes, I find you guilty of all counts. Prepare for absolution.
If I must die, I will die fighting on my feet.
That's at an end, it would seem. Let us see what remains on the terminal he was so interested in. The hint pertaining to the passcode on that terminal. I believe I know the answer. It is contained in a phrase the Supreme Arbiter drilled into our heads for many years. An Arbiter's gavel is judgment, and an Arbiter's scalpel is analysis. Try entering that. From that terminal, it sounds as if the Supreme Arbiter had some sort of business with the Consul. To what end, I wonder? The tone of her response seemed relaxed, but I do not believe she would have met with the Consul unless she had no other choice. And that feckless agent. I don't understand his aim or who he would be working for. Only the Consul. But the Protectorate does not ally itself with Sub Rosa. What could Sub Rosa want with one of our abandoned stations? How could they have known there was anything of note here? Seems this is a question worth continuing to pursue. Well, at least we found what we needed on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I only hope whatever awaits us at Central Control is less tumultuous. I wish I could take more solace in Okada's death. Alas. Worry? My only worry is that still other vermin plague Arcadia and the Protectorate, bent on tearing it apart from without or within. Altogether, I think visiting this station was fruitful for my ultimate task. Hopefully, we'll grow ever closer to discovering the Supreme Arbiter's true killer. And, circumstances aside, I appreciate your accompanying me here, Commander. It means much. Now let us return to the Incognito and plan out our next steps. It would appear our next stop is Praetor, specifically Central Control. I look forward to traveling there, once you've sufficiently prepared. Excellent. I look forward to it. Let us make our way to Central Control forthwith.
What?
I am proud of the planet.
Fortifying teammate vitals. Urgency protocols ready.
King Cuno punitive action!
Idlers and freeloaders.
Danger. Stranger ahead.
You have my thanks and my hammer. I believe what we need is on that terminal. Did you hear that? I think something may have unlocked. I think this may unlock the terminal, but the toggle mechanism appears compromised. I shall hold it. You attempt to gain access to the machine. You must finish it.
Consul Thoreau, I'm sure you're surprised to be receiving this message, and thus I can assume you already know my intent. Even considering aligning myself against the Sovereign is like sticking my hand in boiling oil. Yet my dead charges spur me forward. 10 scores of Arcadia's finest, at least 10 scores, died in defense of Golden Ridge. And does the region lie in our control? No. We fled like sprats, all at Varric's behest. I shall lower myself to work with you, Consul. I will help you uphold your plan to... Hold... What in blazes? How long have you been standing there? What did you hear?
I cannot believe what I heard. I cannot. Actually, it wasn't. Perhaps at first, until I discerned her true intentions. My mentor hated the Consul and was deeply devoted to the Sovereign. She'd never speak thus, unless she was trying to lure the Consul into a trap.
Error. Arbiter's logic is circuitous and flawed. Mental health assessment recommended.
What I'm proposing is eminently plausible. It may be beyond you to see her machinations, but it's obvious to me that this was merely an intricate play. It's all that makes sense. It's not obvious to me. You didn't know her. Wait, do you hear that?
Arbiter Rao, I finally got you. Submit quietly to the Protectorate's justice for your manifold transgressions.
Are you insane? Who are you? And on whose authority do you claim to judge me?
My name is Junior Arbiter Mayhall, and I operate on Arbiter Mandate, as you did once. Now, no questions. This is already going to be difficult enough.
It's logical. The Sentinels have all but taken over central control. It stands to reason the few Arbiters still trained here would only be Sentinels in armored regalia.
I cannot deny that central control has changed, but... What am I saying? I need not defend myself from the likes of you.
Enough! This has been an unpleasant day, and my patience is gone. Your accusations are baseless, and accosting a higher-ranked Arbiter is grounds for arbitration.
They're far from baseless. You stand accused of abandoning your post, of infiltrating Protectorate facilities with opaque aims, and of hampering the Protectorate war effort. How dare you? I may be a junior Arbiter, but I'm not going to let someone that is a high-ranking Arbiter get away with desertion. I heard that Arbiter Rao had left his post without leave some time ago, and chose to track him down myself. Following the trail has not been a simple matter. but I did not let that deter me. The fact that I could say the same to Arbiter Rao is why I am here. An Arbiter, as senior as himself, traipsing off to do architect knows what, hampers the war effort 10 times as much as my presence here. There's no discussion to be had with criminals. I needed to see firsthand that Arbiter Rao had abandoned his station. He has, and must meet my judgment.
These accusations of yours are slander. If you believe false bravado shall save you from my wrath, you're sorely mistaken. You'd ask me that after witnessing my prior arbitrations? My resolve did not flag at Oculus collating post or the Vox relay, nor shall it here. I see very little reason to entertain sparing this upstart. Who decreed that she is to arrest me? Most likely the consul, or one of his minions. Her actions are twice as villainous as the tripe she claims to accuse me of. There is only one path ahead, and it is stained with her blood. Allow me to show you exactly how much I do. Junior Arbiter Mayhall, I accuse you of slandering a senior arbiter and threatening violence against his person. I find you guilty on all counts. Prepare for absolution.
What? You went through the trouble to stay my hand, yet you still seek to judge me? Then you shall meet my judgment after all.
Villains abound. Be on guard.
Heal yourself now. Fortifying TV.
I suppose that's that. Shame about Mayhall. But she shouldn't have tried to bring her judgment to bear against me. There was no choice.
Correction. Arbiter Rao had many available options and chose violence.
Your thoughts have been noted. All this excitement did not make me forget the confession on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I have to bring it to Virgil. Together, we can discover exactly what transpired. There's nothing to take. As I said, the Supreme Arbiter was working to trap the Consul in some way. Virgil will agree. I'm not sure of his whereabouts since last we encountered him. I'll send him a message. With luck, we'll hear from him before long.
Disruptive influences!
Trouble about my hammer.
Vander, you... Emergency protocol syringes primed.
have my thanks and my hammer.
Moment of your time, Commander. Remember that matter on Cloister I mentioned earlier? Well, since we're here and all, thought we might take it up now. Might be hard to believe, but 20 or so odd years ago, I made a mistake. Feels like high time I righted it. Now I'm out and about again. That's where the error occurred, I believe. Others judged it such. I shut it down. Believe I was wrong to do so. For many years now, a former colleague of mine's been in a remote spot called Reasons Pass, on account of my decision. Hardly. Quite the opposite, in fact. She's one of the finest minds to ever grace the Order. Her research was unconventional, surely. She was as well. I think with both, we could right things, get the Order back on its intended path. Do appreciate it, Commander.
The tower ahead is an external component of the Archive and likely serves as an entry point. This unit is rated for extreme temperatures, like those found on Cloister. However, occasional stalling may occur.
I find your proposal time for leisure. Unaccountably so.
Don't bother conversating unless you're
Please don't take me on a co-tangent.
Have you at least determined the cause of the avalanche?
These temporary indignities of the body are nothing contrasted to the Order's future. Keep those eyes open, soldiers. Corneal frostbite be damned.
I suppose I could spare 0.004% of my daily cycle to say hello.
Heard that rift near the archive has destabilized. Must be a sign. The
Agent, I have a message for you. On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant, and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding bishop is presently indisposed, but I've been instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing matter has brought you to the garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. Oh, yes. The vicar did ask me to direct you to him. How positively forgetful of me. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard at the top of the stairs. May all your problems precede solutions.
Is it just me? Or does something seem... Oh, never mind.
Agent, over here. Well, this is a welcome confluence of events. Why, without you, Gertie and I wouldn't be alive. And any hope of peace between the Order and Auntie's choice would be over. Shame about all the disorder. The negotiations had not been going as smoothly as I'd hoped, it's true. But we were making progress. While making our escape, we encountered one of the renegades of my order, wounded and dying. He sought to unburden himself, now convinced Wiley's calculations were wrong. He told us all about that terrible DeVries woman's plan, and theorized you must have stopped her. Well, I think that's what he said. There was quite a lot of gurgling. You have mine and Gertie's utmost gratitude for intervening. Had she succeeded in assassinating us, it would have terminated any hope for peace. Officially, not at present. Gertie and I have kept up communication through back channels in the hope that the discussions can be reconvened in due time. It is my earnest belief that this is the optimal course to chart for the Order, and for Arcadia. Though we could certainly use assistance from an outside force like yourself. To begin, I believe you would need to put forth efforts in good faith with each of the two groups. Earning the trust of both sides is essential. Once you've worked your way up to meeting our respective leaders, you must convince them to consider joining forces. Oh, really? Perhaps the challenge rating is far less than I've hitherto calculated. Well, obviously you'll likely have to act as an intermediary between Ruth and Auntie, which will require some verbal finesse. But let's worry about that step upon reaching it. Transplendent. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides, engender trust. Gertie and I can let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
A visitor. It's for the best that you're talking to me now instead of mid-work. I do seem to have a slight propensity for stabbing randomly with my tools when interrupted, but I suppose that's enough time spinning in the statements column. Speak away. What are you... Beckett. Another prediction that he hasn't seen fit to notify me about. A more cynical exemplar might posit his doing this to be intentional. If you're here, I imagine you aim to petition the presiding bishop for her support, which is hardly a surprise. She is the most important individual in Arcadia. I'm glad we're in accord. The presiding bishop's leadership allows the Order to act in Arcadia's best interest. Without her, we would be nothing. The corporate invaders will suck Arcadia of its resources and cast it to the wind. And the Protectorate are no better than machines. Moreover, once we solve the universal equation, it will benefit all of humanity. You, me, everyone. No more suffering, no more doubt. First, there is the matter of proving your aims align with ours. To that end, there are some elements that need erasing. Do so, and we may begin to speak of your desires. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the Archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there. From what I understand, Vicar Levin's continued existence is a mere side effect of whatever personal vendetta you happen to be attending to. I'm pleased he does not lie among the ranks of the dead, but I will need a more tangible effort on your part to trust you. I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete. May you act within the equation's confines.
No admittance without the Artificer Laureate's permission.
Well, don't you look run of the medium.
Did you receive your personalized order prediction yet? I'll admit to a bit of trepidation in regards to opening mine. This is the first one I've received since deployment. Use caution as you progress. There's been reports of personnels in the area.
Gun weapon ready, Commander.
It appears we've dealt with all of them. Wow, that was a close one.
Another object. Excuse me, I don't think you have the authorization. All the items we put into the rift, they've been reconstituted.
Observe. On rare occasion, the plan provides two unknown variables simultaneously. Years of practical data gathering have taught me to simply... Lord damn it.
Perverted. Fascinating. It seems gravity doesn't apply to the rift, but it somehow maintains its position in space.
It's open again. Quickly, record all the relevant data and take down your observations. Reverted again! Infuriating! Failed? Hurry! Assistant, activate the monitoring equipment and take readings.
I have nothing to say, unless you want to discuss the inverse of the plane
Again,
structure.
it has reverted.
In which case, I'll talk your ear
Timing
off.
seems similar to the last state change. But is that indicative of the properties of the rift or of the device?
Captain. I fear I have a confession to make. I have found being present on Cloister. And how did you sleep? Decidedly horrible. Cold driving again. Those Protectorate loudspeakers playing all night reminded me.
That'd be Spirton. Was once the Order's headquarters on Cloister. Before all this.
With the Council now in charge, harsher restrictions are likely to be implemented across Arcadia. Avoiding
Enemy intercepted. Back in scan.
pharmaceutical reload in progress.
Seems like...
Standing by to supervise. Ready status.
Serve the console.
Check your scope for a couple of
Mallory unit required service.
Moving to safety. Let us reconvene. There, found him again. That covers
The console provides, the system abides.
Protectorate has this sealed. It can only be unsealed near the Archive's entrance, remember? Adversary von... Do try to limit further damage, Commander. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. If only we had a device for closing rifts, like the one we found on Praetor.
Lies in annihilation.
Presence nearby. Hostile in proximity.
Yeah.
Enthusiastically,
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. You've suffered extensive damage, Commander. Medic, please!
Please observe that the archive entry is heavily defended. Consider an alternate means of access to avoid direct Protectorate engagement. Stealth is one valid course of action. Seeking and acquiring combat reinforcement is a more optimal course of action.
It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
All right, it's a plan.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Nobody's falling prey to imperfect.
I always find I work best when undistracted. Now, how might we be of use to one another? I shall allow myself a moment of relief. Moment passed. I'd hoped killing the cultists was its own reward. But you may also take this. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? You've given me reasonable doubt that you will kill the presiding bishop on sight. But this task takes precedence over all else. If you care for the Order, you will see it through. One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I need someone to recover an informational component from it. The web is an Order-crafted network of information collection satellites. Our would-be Protectorate overlords squandered them as glorified surveillance devices. We actually implanted a back door in the web to bring it back under our control, should a circumstance like this arise. But we did not foresee certain Protectorate modifications. But let's not speak of that. Find a way past the Protectorate at the crash site, collect the data, and return it here. Violence is likely, but perhaps you'll find an alternative. Collect the data from the crashed site and return it here. May the odds prevail against your bloody demise.
conviction today. People will start to worry.
Oh,
Welcome to the CAF integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today? Welcome back. Changed your mind. Convictions are statements which promote personal and professional confidence and well-being, leading to 22.9% more scientific breakthroughs in a given quarter. Interested? Before I can administer your conviction, I need to ask you a question. In what area of your life do you feel you need the most improvement? Personal or professional? Expand on that for me. You are a single gear in the grand workings of the universe, and should not expect to control all of its mechanisms or outcomes. Good. Never forget that you are a valuable factor in the universal equation and necessary to advancing the plan. Now then, a brief conversation is customary following the initial service. I haven't seen you around before. New project appointment? Must be an adjustment, all things considered. I'd have run the mugs through the autoclave twice if I'd known the garden was receiving visitors now. All right, your turn. What questions have you got percolating in that mind of yours? Laplace's garden is a glimpse into Arcadia's future, should the Order achieve victory in this conflict. Such an outcome, however, remains to be determined. Not at all. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have complete faith in the plan, would I?
You know, you do a passable impression of a scientician. Did you grow up near one of our settlements? Have a few years of order training?
I'm quite sure I don't know what you mean.
Oh, I understand you may technically count as a member, but there's a perfunctory element to your articulation. You don't believe in the plan, and you're clearly up to something. She sized you up almost immediately, Commander. Been softly probing you for information. I clocked her the first moment she opened her mouth. Excellent question. I've been wondering the same thing. Well, do I have to shoot up the place? Or will you come clean immediately? Who do you work for, little mole?
By the architect, keep your voice down, please. Even if what you say is true, this isn't a conversation best had amidst present company. Let's talk somewhere more private. Behind the CAF integration point, perhaps? Act casual. We're not going far. You must be curious why I asked for such a discreet rendezvous. Kill you? When we're only just getting to know one another? On the contrary, I need your help proving a certain theory of mine. I have adequate reason to believe the Order is conducting a mass experiment on the population of Laplace's garden. Recall what you have observed thus far. Isn't it strange how calm everyone is? The Order is in the middle of a war. A war, one might say, they are losing. The Order is not cultivating its perfect, plan-abiding society through careful ideological pruning, as the laureates would have you believe. It's simple pharmacology. Put bluntly, they're regulating the emotions of everyone in Laplace's garden through drugs in the water supply. I'm limiting my water intake and using other pharmaceuticals to combat the effects. It's not a perfect system, but it works adequately enough. Why would the Order want to create a society of undistractable little academics whose only desire is to advance the plan? I wonder. One could make that argument, and obviously have. The Order claims the subjects here supposedly consented to participate, but it was begun prior to the schism with the Protectorate, so who's to say? Regardless, if the Order has made some kind of pharmaceutical breakthrough, imagine how useful it might be to certain parties to know about it in advance. I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug. Interested? All you need to do is enter water reconditioning and collect a sample of the drug. I believe they call it Perspective. This passcode will give you access to the main terminal. Watch the guards patrol before making your way into the facility. If worst comes to worst, I wager Laureate Beckett also has a keycard on him, but that might be tricky to lift. Lately, he's been sitting near the fountains, performing his silly little breathing exercises. If he's not there, then he's likely in conference with the presiding bishop. Whatever you do, be discreet. I can't have any laureates asking questions about me. Understood? One more thing before you leave. Outside of work, I have, let's call it an alternative inventory. You'll have to pay, of course, but I'm sure I have something that'll make your job a little easier. And I'd like to offload some of this. You're back. Any luck with the sample? I'm charmed my name was among the first to populate your thoughts when attempting to work this problem. I have some Protectorate contacts, and I might be willing to lean my elbow on the scales in your favor, but not until after I've acquired my sample.